Okay, so what we've done is we've covered our whirly bird up quite well here. There's no more water getting into here. We can have a good look at it. And what we've done is we've found out that there's still more water leaking into our roof. So what we're going to probably do is do a little bit of detective work, get back up onto our roof and have a look around to see what might be leaking. Now, I know that you can see here, but that wouldn't normally look like that. You'd have a capping over the top there. But this instance, we're not looking at that there. We get up onto our roof and we start looking around, and you can see people have made a few repairs, bits of old silicone. We go around, but we have a look at this screw here, and you see that the top head of the screw is sitting up just a little bit. Now, we don't know whether it's going to be leaking there, but a good possibility that it can. So what we'd have to do is go, okay, we need to fix that one up or cover it or seal it. We look around so we don't just think that's the only one, and we see a screw's missing here. Now, if you think the water's all running down here, so there's water running down, running around, the amount of water that runs in that little hole there could actually fill a bucket in probably about an hour. So it's a lot of water. It could be just pouring straight in that one spot there. Also, it could run in here, hit the roof batten, and run across our roof and come out somewhere else. So that one we're going to fix up. Okay, so we've got these two, the little head of the screw here, and that one as well. We keep looking around, there's not much else that we can see that's leaking. Everything looks okay at this stage. So what we would do is we try to seal those two. Now, if our roof's dry, silicone's great. If we're pouring out rain and we're having a bit of trouble, we have to make sure it's dry before we put our silicone on. So when we get it from the hardware store, this is what our silicone tube looks like. You've got a thread there and it's actually capped off so the silicone doesn't go hard. They also give you the nib or the little tip here. That one screws on top. But what we're going to do first is remove that. Now, a couple of ways you can do it. You can actually use your tin snips. If they open up, a little bit of work to get them off like that. But you've got to open the tin snips up completely, put them over the top there, and flick the top off like that. Okay. You can use your Stanley knife, being careful if you do use a Stanley knife, you don't poke or cut yourself with that one. Once you've got that top cut there, we then get our nib or our tip and we screw it on nice and tight. Screw it all the way on. Okay, so that's what it looks like at the moment. Now also, what we want to do then, we've got to make sure we put it into our silicone gun. Click it in that way, like that. Try to always put it so the label's facing up so people know what it is. And you can push it like that. Now we can't click it too much yet because if we go too far, all the silicone's going to pop out there. What we also want to do though, is we want to cut our little tip here on a bit of an angle, okay? That actually, the more we cut it back, is the more silicone that's going to come pouring out, okay? Now the reason why we do cut that, okay, so when we actually start clicking it on, we can actually put it like that and lay our silicone down and it won't roll back up on us. I bet you everybody's done that before. So as we go along, you start putting your silicone on and it folds up. So the idea is we're going to fix our little screw here. So we keep watching. You can actually watch the silicone coming up through the end. We don't want to get silicone everywhere. We don't need too much. Now, really important, we're going to take our gloves off for this bit because if we've got our gloves on, what's going to happen if we try to use it on the silicone? Okay, and what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we get the silicone patted all the way up underneath our screw. Now that's pretty easy. We're then going to get our rag, wipe our fingers. Now if we can, we've got our battery drill, we're going to carefully screw our screw down a little bit. We get our fingers, rub it again, and we pretty much have sealed that up quite well. Now the other one we got, which we looked at before, was over the back here. There's actually a hole into our roof. Okay, so where the screws pop out there, and we don't have a spare screw. What we're going to do with this one is quite simply get our silicone gun again. We have got it on that little cut angle, so we're going to put the angle like that. So you can see there's the angle. We're going to put it over the hole. We're going to keep squeezing, 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 squeezing. We're actually going to push the silicone into the hole there. Same thing again with our little finger. Rubbing it over the top, moving it around. Now, if you've got a big blob of silicone, what it might be, a big blob like this, does nothing. Okay, we wasted all that silicone. So what we want to do is make sure we spread it all the way out. We get a good seal onto the roof. Even there. And once again, a good seal. Water comes down, runs over the top there. Just got to be a little bit careful when our silicone's though. If our roof is wet, we must dry it. So what we're going to have to do is get 2 dry rags. Okay, so we come over this way again. But this is our little wet section over here. So, we've got a bit of rain coming now. Here it comes. There's a bit of rain, roof's wet. Get your first dry rag. Wipe as much as you can off. What we're also doing is cleaning the roof down as much as we can. So there's a little bit of mould on that roof. We get the other dry rag. Dry as much as we can all around the screw there. Get our silicone again. Pop it around the top there. And a great seal. Simply enough, that's the way you're going to do it. Now, if we try to just put the silicone over the water, it's a barrier between the two. It doesn't work. Then some people will get this, it's called storm seal or wet seal. Everyone thinks it's going to work in water. It doesn't work that flash. Okay? If our roof's a little bit dirty or a bit mouldy, it won't stick to it at all. But once again, it's in some of the kits, that's fine to try. This one's a really, really sticky silicone. You get it somewhere, you'll get it all over the tools, drills, and guess what? The worst part, you get it on the harness. Then you're in big trouble. Okay, some simple ones. Once we've done that, we're going to run down around our whirly bird again, have a quick look, see if we've got any leaking spots again, tidy them up, and then see if we fix the leak by going inside the house again.